Welcome to Talmudic Treasures. Today we're learning Gittin page 3, which discusses the person who brings the divorce document from the husband to the wife. In certain situations, it's necessary for him to make the declaration to say that before me it was written, before me it was signed, b'fanei nechtam. And the Talmud here gives two reasons for it, and we'll focus on the reason of Rabbi because of the issue of lishma. Namely, when a person writes a divorce document, you can't just write a whole stack of them, and then afterwards when people come to get divorced, you can just use those documents. No. Instead, it's necessary that before it's written, that it must be written for the sake of this woman that is to get divorced. You cannot just write a divorce document without a person in mind. This is the requirement, and therefore, because not everyone is so familiar with these laws, we want to make sure that this is a valid divorce, a valid get. And therefore, this person must make the declaration that it was written and signed in front of me. Now, the question is, if in fact the reason is because of lishma, so instead of just saying the two words, b'fanei nechtav, before me it was written, why don't we just add a third word to really clarify exactly the reasoning? And that would clearly show that that's the reason why he's saying it. B'fanei nechtav lishma. It was written in front of me for the sake of this woman. B'fanei nechtam lishma. That it was signed in front of me for the sake of this woman. If that's the whole reason why he's saying those words, why do we not require him to add those words? Now, on this, the Talmud gives us an interesting answer. And this is in the time in which people memorized pages and pages of the Talmud and great levels of mastery of Talmudic literature and everything that one can imagine as far as Jewish text. And the Talmud says, you're right. Really, we would have liked this agent to have said this. However, we're concerned that if we give him too much of a line, if his speaking part is too lengthy, he may make a mistake. And therefore, it's better that we don't require him to say all these words. So the Talmud says, well, maybe he'll make a mistake saying b'fanei nechtav. He'll make a mistake saying b'fanei nechtav. So on this, the Talmud says that if we would give him 3 words, and of course it's 3 words and then another 3 words, if he would have to say 3 words, it's possible that one of those 3 words he's going to mess up. So therefore, we don't have him say the word lishma. But to have him say 2 words, the chances of him messing up 2 words is much less likely. Now, this is very interesting. Basically, what the Talmud is telling us is that we would prefer him to actually be more clear in his language and to be able to truly specify more when he's giving over this divorce document. But we are concerned that if he does that, he's going to mess up the whole thing, and therefore it's better to do less. This is a proof to the notion that sometimes less is more. That if you require people to do too much, also mentioned many times in the Talmud, tafasta meruba lo tafasta. If you have, let's say, 1,000,000 coins, and you grab as many as you can, because you want to just hold on to as many as you can, you may not be able to really grasp too many. But if I tell you, pick up 1 coin, that you could do. And therefore, this is the same idea. That if we ask you to do too much, especially you're saying this in front of others, it's not just in front of her. There's a couple of people there, 2 or 3 people, possibly in front of a court. So it's a very stressful situation where you're engaged in this public speaking, and therefore we want to minimize the possibility of you making a mistake. And therefore, again, we see from this that even though we would prefer you to speak it in a more clear way, sometimes less is more.